Hey YouTube, it's your boy Widgie here, coming at you with some more Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. And guys, I don't know if you actually know, but if you still go onto the link for the PvP, they've been adding some revisions, and I've been seeing this on certain chatter on Discord, and I don't know if everybody knows what's actually happening, because some of these things are absolutely insane, and I think they're going under the radar, and I want you guys to know about it, I want you to talk about it, get pumped for it, all that good stuff. So we can see here, it says July update build, and there is a revised number here to the PvP. And as I mentioned at the start in my other video, there's always that caveat. The caveat is there could be changes before it's actually released. And when I mean changes, I mean there's some big ones. So let's go through these and have a look. So the first one here, the general for the Africans. Constructing a field, you can now do that in Age 1. And a field is essentially a bit like a mill. It's basically a mill. It's kind of like the rice paddies that you get with the Asian civs, where you can either collect food or gold from them. They work a little bit different, but basically that's what they are. And now you can construct them in Age 1, which is awesome. We now have a monumental one here. 5 villagers is back with the Aztecs, which means that their eco is going to be so good now in Age 2. It's actually going to make them sustain a lot better in sort of Age 2 play, which is what I really like to do with them. And the thing is that the Kalmakat card, the change to that, I got really annoyed with that because you lose the warrior priest. So I think that you don't even need the Kalmakat anymore, personally. I'll just throw that out, and I would just, you know, save the card for 5 vils straight into H2 and then go for 700 wood, pump units, and you're going to have a really good economy. So this is absolutely great, and I think that's going to be actually overall, I think it's going to be a slight buff to Aztecs, which is great. The Brits, once again, huge changes here. Look at this. Brits restored the original Infinite 10 Pike card in Age 3, so they've brought that back. They've removed 5 villagers now in Age 2. So remember what the changes are with the Brits originally. Now the Brits have the 3 villagers back, but in exchange, they're removing 5 vils, and 5 vils is a very crucial card in pretty much any kind of opening you want to do with the Brits. You know, you always go, you used to go 3 vil, maybe 5 vil, 700 wood, or you go 700 wood, 5 vil, 600 wood. So the 5 vils would always be there. It would always give you that extra boost in eco, but now you're not going to have that anymore, but you are going to have the 3 vils. So I don't know, overall, potentially maybe a slight further drop to Brits, or maybe it's going to just even itself out overall. I'm not too sure. We'll have to see. And finally, they've just improved the readability of player color on the red coat skin. There we go. The Dutch, Blue Guards now automatically upgrade to Veteran and Guard in Age 3 and 4. In Age 5, they receive 25% bonus on the HP and damage. Okay, so that's the Blue Guard shipment that you can do for Dutch. So that's kind of big as well for them. It doesn't actually mean that you need to spend anything on upgrading them. You get that entirely for free in Age 3 and Age 4. French fixed an issue where native combat and wilderness warfare were getting removed from decks. So that's just a slight bug issue which they've done, which is great. Now we're moving on to the Italians. So the Basilica shipments now arrive faster in the Imperial Age, like all other cards. Roman Tactics hit point improvement reduced to 10 from 15, an automatic Imperial upgrade for the Pavisias, and damage aura has been removed. And also the Pavisia damage aura is lowered to the same level as Pikemen and Halberdiers. So yeah, quite a nerf to the Roman Tactics there. However, the Veteran and Guard Pavisias no longer improves the attack range. Okay, wow. So there we go. Another hit to Pavisias for Italians. So they've already had quite a chunky bunch of nerfs, and they're receiving some more here overall as well. Another big one, Inca, for me, is quite big. I really enjoy playing Inca. Look at this. The Harakas, the siege unit. They're very good against buildings. They're good against artillery. They, in Age 3, are basically going to get their attack range increase from 20 to 23. This is big. This is going to make the Harakas more viable. At the moment, the majority composition that you get from Inca players is basically Chimu, bow, pike. It's kind of like the Age 2. You will see that in Age 3 and maybe Age 4. Mass Chimus. But now the Harakas are going to get a nice sort of buff here. So we're probably going to see more of those in action. And also, when you upgrade them to Champion or Legendary, it's actually adding +1 range for each. That's crazy. So they're actually going to be potentially 25 when they get to Legendary level. That's nuts. And we can see here another support card in Age 4 for the Harakas. The building attack range has now been increased from +5 to +7. So once again, thinking about Age 4 guys with Inca, you could have these Harakas absolutely just sieging from an insane distance. You could potentially get them 25 plus 7, 32 range. They could be sieging buildings at, which is nuts. Okay, let's have a look. The Maltese fixed an issue where the poison damage of the basilisk would not properly function. Okay, that's now been updated. Very, very good. Mexicans. The Quatero spawn time at Haciendas has been increased. I believe this is the one where it spawns the goon type units, I believe, from the Haciendas. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that's actually quite, you know, impactful. 10 seconds being added on there. That's crazy. Plan of Miramar fixed the missing Voltiga VO. I'm not entirely sure what that is. The Ottomans line of sight now only increased by plus 0.5 for culverins. Okay, interesting. I'm not too sure what that means, what they're referring to. Maybe there was a change on the culverins. I'm not entirely sure. Russia, let's have a look. Added some legacy hotkey support, obviously, for the 2 new units. Lovely. Explorer bonus siege damage has been reduced. Yeah, this was quite funny. Some people said that you could do a crazy thing where in Age 1, you could basically just deny a lot of buildings because of the siege. So they've reduced that from 5 to 3. So that's a good change. The Polk notably reduced the Puruchik hit point scaling. So there was this crazy card, the Polk card, where when you have more Puruchiks, they basically buff the HP of all of them. But it kind of, the scaling was crazy. So you had these Puruchiks with insane HP. So they've kind of adjusted that, which is great. Moving on to the Spanish here, we have Wild Geese. Amount of Irish Brigadiers reduced 12 from 20. Wow, and cost to 1,500 food from 2,200. That's kind of an insane change. The Walloon Guards here restored the original Age 4 tech, which is now called Walloon Guards, and sends 14 Fusiliers for 3,000 coin. Now, this is another big one. Look at this from the Swedes. So the Swedes are actually getting a bit of a buff back now. Increasing the settler build limit to 90 from 85. That's really big. Very big for treaty players as well. That obviously will go late game. The light gun carriages card. However, oh, that's a huge. Now it costs 200 wood for the light gun carriages. This is a card that was recently kind of taken away or was banned from the ECL, which is a current kind of league thing going on ESOC, which is kind of strange. But now look at this, guys. 200 wood is going to be needed for this card as well. It's kind of a big hit there for Swedes for that card. Moving on to some of the sort of revolutions here. As I say, I've said this before, guys, I don't have huge knowledge of the revolutions. I rarely do them myself, so I can't really say for sure or comment on these at all, I'm afraid. Have a quick look at them. If they apply to you, then I'm sure you can have a quick look. But we're just going to look. There's another update here previous to that one where there's a few other changes here as well. The Conquistador, the range is being reduced slightly on the Conquistador units. Gentleman of the Pike has been moved to Age 4. The Ward Gelders is now enabled for training only in Age 3. This was a recent cast I did, I think, or something like that, where people were making Ward Gelders in Age 2. You can only make them in Age 3 now and onwards, I believe. And also the Bashibozok, which is basically the militia that you can call from the Ottomans from the home city. The damage against villagers has been reduced on that, and they're fixing various kind of features here that you can see. And also upgrades to the Salteadors for Mexico, the skirms, the range is no longer there anymore. And there's a few changes further down below there as well. So guys, make sure to always keep a check of this link. It's constantly changing, and there is the latest revision that we have right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I just want to keep you all in the loop, as I mentioned at the start. If there are any big changes from now until it releases, I will be releasing another video on it so you guys can keep up to date. Thanks very much, and of course, I will catch you in the next video or the next stream. Catch you later, guys. Bye!